Welcome back to another episode of Sip to Tally Films, and I have some esteemed guests with me. We got Hendo from the Road Pod, we got Ryan from the Flock
Yeah.
Rundown, and we're going to do a little chat about what has transpired over the past couple of days. We were talking before we came on about how we were trying to figure out our off-season plans, and then the firing of John Harbaugh really just kind of gave us some stuff to talk about and analyze, and some good content for the flock. And I tweeted yesterday that the flock has so much good content out that you can't watch it all. Like I try to watch Hendo. Well, I do watch Hendo's. I get most of Ryan's, but it's other guys out there too that it's so much. Unless you just sitting there watching them back to back to back to back to back, you won't get everything. So it's a bunch of good information out there. So it's a interesting time to be a Baltimore Ravens fan to say that. I won't say good or bad. I'm gonna just say interesting because we don't know, what's going on. And so in the midst of me doing a video trying to persuade and tell people who my favorite choice was at the time, the news broke that we hired and I almost said it again. I almost said Mike. Jesse Mentor as our new head coach. So when the Ravens hired Jesse Mentor, what was your immediate reaction, Hendo? What you thought about it?
Whew, I wasn't surprised. I thought it was status quo,
Hmm.
and I can understand that the Ravens flock. A lot of them are disappointed to an extent because you got to think about 18 years with the same head coach. We wanted a splash. We wanted a
Hmm.
big name. We wanted somebody that we could be like, yeah, okay. These other head coaches are going out there getting these jobs that people can brag about. We just got slow and steady. It's a coach that's going to just do what he needs to do to get the team right. He knows the Ravens culture. I wasn't mad about it. Like,
Hmm.
wasn't too happy. I preferred Brian Flores because I think you get the same defensive prowess, but you get somebody that had experience as a head coach. Because I thought this was going to be a situation like with Tony Dungy and Chucky, that he can come in the next year, win a Super Bowl, be like Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr, the very next season win an NBA championship. But I think it was possibly the right choice in the long term. So I ain't mad about it.
Cool. Ryan, yourself?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, it's so hard to determine like how he's going to be exactly as a head coach, but from a defensive mind, I'm pumped. I think that the way he's been able to go to different spots, transform the defense, it seems like he's able to simplify and communicate and coach it to guys and get the best out of players, which is a big deal because the last few years we haven't been getting that. You know what I mean? The defenses fell off. We finished like 24th ranked defense. Like I think we can enter back into that top 5 consistent defense year after year. As a leader, like head coach, I don't know, just like hoping for the best. He doesn't have experience as a head coach, but familiar with the organization. And, I don't think the Harbaugh tree is as big of a deal as like some people are saying, just because a lot of people also wanted Mike McDonald, who's just the same under the Harbaugh tree and went to Michigan as a D coordinator, just like Jesse Minter. And like, you know what I mean? It's like very similar. Actually like that Jesse Minter went elsewhere as a D
Mm.
coordinator and had success in the NFL and college. And he's 20 years younger than the Harbaughs. Like, I think he can relate to the players in a different way. He's got a different
Hmm.
energy about him. So we'll see as like a head coach. It's definitely TBD. We're going to have to be like patient and see how that works out. But I'm pumped. Defense is back in Baltimore. And now I'm just like really, really curious who the OC is going to be.
Right. You mentioned something about the relationships. If you guys have you guys seen the video with him and Dervin James, how they interacted? And
Yeah.
just from that video, I feel like Dervin James, I can say this and it not be like a hot take, that Dervin James loves that dude. Like their
Yeah.
conversations seemed genuine, and it wasn't just about football. He was talking
Mhm.
about how his son is playing video games,
Video
and he can't
games.
wait to his
Yeah.
son and do that.
Right.
And then they talked about different. They actually talked some nuanced football stuff about pass rush moves and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like we've been needing here. A guy, this is no knock on John. It's just I think being able to relate to this younger generation, there's a huge gap. Like there'd be a gap between myself, Hendo, and John, and then there's a gap between us and maybe like a Derwin James or Kyle Hamilton. So for like a 2 generational gap, that's tough to. And some of the things that old school football that don't really, old school coaching don't really sit well with these young whippersnappers because a lot of them they soft mentally. They're probably strong physically and can play football, but mentally you can't even yell at them and they break down.
Facts.
You need guys that can kind of relate to them and get on them, but build them up as well. And a lot of old school coaches, all they know is get on them. They never come back with the build them up part. And so that's why
Facts.
you'll get with mentor somebody that can relate and have conversation outside of Baltimore Ravens stuff. And then he can show that he really cares about the players and it ain't just, okay, you got to do this for me to make me look good. So I think that was in the past.
And you also can confuse these young players by using verbiage like whippersnappers because they don't know where you're coming from. That's the old man talk.
Mm-hmm.
It just instantly like there's a instant disconnect too. Like, you know what I mean? You could even sense some of that we didn't get a lot of them this year because they don't drop the locker room speeches when we lose, but you can sense it a little bit even when we're winning. Like, I don't know, man. I felt like there was a little bit of disbelief in the room circling it. You know what I mean? And like you said, it's not even like Harbaugh was a bad coach, but the voice runs stale and there's limitations. There's a ceiling to that. That's why I'm happy to get somebody that like understands ball at a really high level, at least on one side of the ball. Like we know defense is going to be consistent, should be at least, or you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm pumped about it.
Got a guy in one of the group chats with me. He always bring up this stat that no quarterback and head coach combination has won the Super Bowl after 5 years.
Yep.
I'm happy that we got a reset on that number.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, bro. The disconnect was, but you can see the disconnect in Ed. We don't need the back. We don't need the back view room or anything. I think most notably was Kyle Van Noy. And during the season, they asked him about certain things with the coaching, and he was like, "Don't ask me, go ask them." And it's kind of like, damn, okay, I see it. But then he was on, I think, Good Morning Football or one of those shows, and he was like, "We need an X's and O's coach," and I think it was kind of like a backhanded compliment towards John Harbaugh. He's like, "This team needs an X's and O's guy to lead us." So, and he was one of John Harbaugh's guys. So if somebody like that who came in here in 2 years in a row, got career high sacks, if you can do that and turn on your coach, you know you lost that locker room. They could say he didn't, but the players just didn't vibe with him. He could talk about how he loved Lamar and they talk all the time, but they asked Lamar right after the game, "Hey, what you think about your coach next year?" "Man, I'm worried about right now." If you really believed in your head coach, even I don't care how you feel in the situation, you be like, "That's my guy, but we'll discuss this another time." Nobody did that for him.
Agreed. All right, next question for them both, and we'll start with you with this one, Ryan. How does Mentor's coaching background align with the Ravens' longstanding identity of defense and physical football?
Yeah, I mean, because he brings that, you know what I mean, and I think he's from head coach lineage, you know, like his dad, Rick Mentor's legend in the league, and has also been with him through Michigan as a defensive analyst and in LA. So I'm very curious. I would expect his dad to come to Baltimore as a defensive analyst again, or, you know, at least behind the scenes. I don't know if it'll be a formal thing, but his dad's handprints are all over this too. I would say Jesse Minter's way more from like the Rick Minter tree than the Harbaugh tree. You know what I mean? And I think that there's intelligent defense that, you know, it's similar to Mike McDonald in the fact that running like a lot of zone and bringing 4 and getting home with 4, though, being creative with pressure and getting home. And we have been struggling with pass rush. And I think, you know, obviously you got to improve the roster too. I think that, you know, it's not just from a coaching standpoint that's going to fix that. But as long as we attack this offseason, I think that Jesse Minter for bringing that defensive mind is going to get us to the quarterback and to get off on third down. He's been averaging around 17 points per game allowed. So, I mean, our offense is going to score more than 17 in most games, man. This is going to be a successful formula. I think this is aligning with Ravens defensive standards because we're going to be playing some good Ravens defense back in Baltimore again. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, and part of the reason why I put this combo together because Hendo, myself, Jose, we've all been part of the defund the defense. And with them hiring a defensive coach, Hendo, really the same question to you. Do you think that is like that was the right direction, or did we get the best option available?
For me, I don't care, offensive or defensive head coach. I just want the right guy. Okay, I don't care what your background is, as long as you can come lead this team because we have the talent to win a Super Bowl. But most importantly, we get back to the Ravens way. Even though we are technically an offensive team, this organization is rooted in defense. And this is why so many people get mad that we give up so many points and we look the way that we look. Mentor, he transformed that defense. He transformed the defense when he went to Vanderbilt, when he went to Michigan, they won the national championship. But more importantly, the things that people don't really look into is the fact that what did they have? 5 turnovers or so? Or maybe two or three
in the last game or something.
Yeah. They had multiple turnovers in that game. Lamar Jackson has only had 2 turnovers. 2 in 8 years. And more importantly, Odafe Owe, who left
playoff turnovers, you mean, right?
Playoff turnovers. Odafe Owe, who went over there and had 3 sacks in a playoff game. When was the last time a Ravens player did that? 2015 with Terrell Suggs. 2015. So he can unlock some things and kind of fix some deficiencies that we've had in the playoffs, because as great as our defense has been, even when they were number 1, we weren't turning the ball over. We weren't getting timely stops. And I think that he can bring that mentality back. So I'm all for it. But more importantly, in my opinion, because I know some people will get mad in the comments, because we have this defensive coach that has the experience of transforming teams, we don't necessarily have to go defense with our first round pick.
True. Protect the Ferrari, but we've been saying that for how long? We've been doing this since 19 whatever. Protect the Ferrari. Kiddo, this one for you as well. Is this a safe hire or a bold one?
Safe. Okay. It's safe. You know, I mean, you sometimes listen. When you're Bisciotti and you're used to continuity and having things the same way, and you have to do so, as an old man speaking myself, you don't stray too far from the path. Like, you want to make changes, but you're not going to do anything that's drastic. And you know that this guy is a winner. So I don't have to go out here and make a splash move. I just need to get a winner and hopefully find somebody that can take us over the top. And Mentor seems like a guy that's not going to go 8 straight years and get into the playoffs and forget his identity. And then afterwards say, it's just one game. We'll get him next year.
Ryan, to you, safe or bold?
Yeah, it's definitely safe. I mean, I don't think it's a negative, but it's safe, because they know him too. He's been here for 4 years.
Right.
So like, you might not exactly know how he'll be as a head coach, but you have a good idea. You've talked to him and conversated on a daily basis, or at least a lot of the front office has. Eric DaCosta was here. He spent some time with Lamar. He was like here when Lamar was drafted here, and they were working together running the scout team too. So like, there's a connection there. I think that they already feel comfortable with that connection, so it makes it safer, but it's not a bad thing.
Cool. What's going to be his biggest challenge? Going from coordinator to head coach?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Just the inexperience, leading an entire team, structuring schedules, and being the leader of the rest of the coaching staff, building out a coaching staff. These are things that he's never done. I don't think that means that he's going to do a bad job at it, but I think that is a challenge, like creating the practice schedule. And these are things that I think he will take from the Harbaugh tree. He's been around Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh for a while. You can take some of the leadership and structure from them. That is probably a positive thing. You know what I mean? Like, I do think he'll take some of their tendencies when it comes to like practice schedules and all that, because he doesn't have anywhere else to lean on unless he's just kind of leaning on his dad or his own ideas. But I do think that's the biggest challenge, is just all the elements of being a head coach and then building out that staff. Like I said, I think there's some serious pressure on who the OC is. Yeah. I don't mind us going defense, but you do need to hire a solid OC. Like, the offense is also important here. And, we got to get a Super Bowl with Lamar. So I think that's the biggest challenge, building out the staff and just going through all those trials and tribulations as a head coach for the first time.
Now, same question, Hendo, but put this part into the part in the question. I mean, he got an established locker room. He got Lamar. I mean, some established stars in the locker room. I apologize.
Right.
Lamar, Derek, Kyle, Roquan. How is he going to get them to get on board with what he's bringing to the table?
Just by his success, and especially with Lamar being with him before, and some of the other coaches like Chris Horton, like they know him, so you can just look and see how his players love him. Not just for the X's and O's, like you said, and those young players can relate to that, because these young guys today, they don't just want somebody telling them what to do. They want somebody that they can associate with if they have issues that they can go to. Now, as far as his biggest problem is really simple. It's just delegation of authority. As a defensive coordinator, you had a specific role, and this is what you do. Now I have to look over the defense, kind of, sort of, make sure they're doing what I want them to do. But I also have to be involved in the offense, the special teams, the day-to-day operations, my relationship with the GM. It's just all of these things. And if you have OCD or something like that, like, you can't nitpick and be a part of it. But sometimes when you know you're successful and you want every part to be successful, you want to have a hand in everything. You have to have that delegation of authority, not like a John Harbaugh, where it's just like you do what you want to do and figure it out when it happens, but just being a part of the day-to-day things that are going around in this organization. So, but you have to pick the right coordinators. you got to get this right. And we keep saying OC, we still need to pick a good DC as well.
We do, because there are going to be times where he has other things he has to do, and he needs whoever that DC is he can trust. And real quick story, I had a friend of mine that just moved from here and wanted me to be his DC. Knowing I have never coached defense but once, but he just said he needed somebody that he could trust, that when he went to go check on the offense, that whoever was in the room with the defense was doing what he needed them to do. Right. And it was more so trust, and I could learn the X and O's later, but it was trust and commanding the room and being able to, get kids to do what they need to do, and just have for the lack of a better word, a real person in the room, because you got a lot of these young cats that be trying to be their friends. You need an authority figure in there to, hey, get your stuff together. And just command the room. Exactly. We got a super chat real quick from Wondering Raven. He dropped 20. Says, good morning, fellas. I'm with Hendo. The more I sit with this hire, I hope this is them bringing in a chef to cook with the groceries we have definitely had. So we can load the pantry offensively. That's a good comment, because I ain't gonna say we got enough on defense, but I think we have more pieces defensively than offensively. Do you guys agree with that statement?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, if last season proved one thing, we need 2 guards. We may possibly need a center if Harbaugh can convince old boy to go up north. You know what I'm saying? I hope he doesn't. No, I hope he doesn't. The backup running back situation is a little in flux to an extent. Like, Justice Hill, they seem to have lost a lot of confidence in him. Don't know what's going on with Keaton Mitchell. And we saw towards the end of the season that this offense is Zay-centric. Without Zay Flowers, we ain't targeting nobody else. So we got 2 tight ends we have to replace. We have so much offensively we have to replace. We just don't. And the biggest problem is we don't know defensively what the issue was. Was it Zach or was it the players? It's something that we have to figure out. But we had to figure out what's going on with Nnamdi.
I think he's done, though.
Oh, I know he's done.
Yeah, but then if he doesn't retire, we got to pay him so he could just stretch it out.
Oh, I wouldn't be done then.
Right. That's what I mean. Yeah. I think he's going to continue to get second opinions and not say anything. You know what I mean? Like, this whole thing stretches out, because then he gets paid at least a year or so.
As an individual, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, I get that.
The team probably like, man, well, come on, man.
No,
you think they try to hit him with an injury settlement if he is done?
Yeah, so the Ravens are going to try to do whatever they can. He's got a $32 million cap hit.
They're going to try.
But he's going to be like, I'm going to go see another doctor next week and do some treatment and see if I can get through this, even though he might not. Yeah.
No, this representation is telling him, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut.
It has to. That's why we haven't heard anything.
He packed up and went home. That man hadn't said one word.
He posted an Instagram picture with like a globe or a crystal ball. Yeah, so that's it.
He doing the best thing for him. Say nothing.
Yeah.
No, like the kids say less.
It does suck though, man. It's another guy that we just signed to a mega extension. Brings me back to I know he came back, but it happened with us with Ronnie Stanley too. Like, as soon as we sign him to a massive deal, we lose him. You know what I mean? And I know we got Ronnie back 2 years later, but it just sucks, man. You got somebody with that big of a cap hit that's not on your roster. That hurt this year.
All right, Hendo, which Ravens player is going to benefit the most from the incoming head coach, Jesse Minter?
Kyle Hamilton. Look at Derwin James.
You see him doing? Oh, I was just gonna ask you. See him doing the Derwin James.
First of all, you already know I know about Derwin James.
All right, Florida State.
You know what I mean? Derwin James, without injury, arguably one of the best safeties, the best safety in the league for his versatility.
You said one of, or you said the?
Yeah, What I mean, the best safety in the league, without injuries, probably Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, he is definitely probably the most athletic. I will give him that.
Athleticism, nobody's touching Derwin James. But I think that what he was able to do with him, he already has the blueprint to see what he's going to do with Kyle Hamilton. So with Mentor, we don't need with Jesse. I'm sorry, but having call him Mike. With Jesse, we don't need to have a third safety to deploy Kyle Hamilton. I think that Mentor is just going to know what to do with him.
Gotcha. Same to you, Brian.
Yeah, Kyle's definitely going to benefit. I think Mike Green, pass rush. I think we're going to be getting home, and we're going to have a whole different feel about these guys. So, you know what I mean? Some people are like, "Oh, Mike Green was a letdown. We had high expectations or whatever." I don't think that's going to be the case. I think you're going to be singing his praises this year, and Jesse Minter's a huge piece of that because he's going to get home and not have to blitz a ton either to get home. And that's a big deal. We'll probably add to that room as well, but I think Mike Green takes a big leap.
I want to answer this one too, and my straight off the couch answer would be the same as Hendo's. It's Mike Green, but unfortunately, I think it's going to be T-Rob because I think he'll have a designed role and the way how hard he plays and the physicality he's bringing, and he's gotten better and better and better each year. I think we're going to have a real twosome this year. With Mike, I do agree Mike's gonna be unlocked as well. With Mike on one side and T-Rob on the other, because both can play the run and both can pass rush. Their pass rush styles are different, but both can do it. And I really look forward to seeing what he does with them. And I hope he finds a way to get Roquan back to being the Roquan that we signed way back when. I want to see the Roquan before PQ left, and I don't know if we can get that back out of him. Like it's almost to the point where I like the two young bucks and recoup that money some kind of way from Roquan, in my eyes, because he ain't really. I mean, for $20 million, I need some kind of production, and he get a lot of tackles where he just run over there touching people.
Oh Lord!
Listen, saying, though.
bruh, he getting them Ray Lewis tackles where he just dive on piles and be like, "Up, count it." But for me, most importantly was the Pittsburgh game. You go in there and you talk all that ish, and I'm tired of being disrespected. They're gonna see us as as this Ravens defense, and in the game that we need to have to get to the playoffs, you have 3 tackles. Oh, I'm sorry, 4, because you tackled Nate Wiggins. You had 4 tackles. Bruh, come on, bro.
Yeah, he's not playing up to the contract. And Coach, you said 20 million. His cap hits 32.7. Yeah. And if we cut him, it's a $25 million dead cap, so he'd save 7.
That math ain't mathing. Not what you let him play.
I know, but he also is not playing anywhere near to $32 million. So that's my concern. Like I mean, he's not a bad player, but for what you're paying him, it's like not even close.
That's probably how I should have phrased it, like you just said. Because he ain't a bad player. He just ain't. He ain't up to the money that we pay him. You said it exactly right. Close. All right, with Mentor formulating his staff, should he find somebody experienced or find somebody innovative? And we'll start with you on this one, Ryan.
Yeah, so DC is I'll start with DC. DC is an interesting one too, because is Mentor calling plays?
I hope.
Yeah, I do too. And then therefore it takes a little bit of pressure off of who the DC is. And it may be somebody that he just has a good relationship with, that he knows can, manage the other defensive coaches well and also coach the players well too. But you don't need as much experience from a play calling standpoint if Mentor's handling that. So I think I know they just brought in Joe Cullen and interviewed him as the DC, who's been here before and has some relationship there. So that might make sense. Darnell Wilson's a name that's getting tossed around. That's had,
Denard.
Denard. Yeah. That's had previous relationships here. And then also that the guy that's with Steve Klinksdale from LA that was with Jesse Mentor has been tossed around. So it could be a nice bridge guy like that already has chemistry that, there's no pressure on it because he's not calling plays. But I think there is a lot of pressure on the OC.
Yes.
To me, this is a big deal. Whatever coordinator position we didn't go with the head coach, background became more pressurized, right?
Right.
Like if we went with an offensive head coach, now I'd be saying the same thing about who's the DC. But the
Mhm.
fact that we went with a defensive minded head coach, I feel better about that area. So now I'm like, who's that OC going to be? You know, reports coming out that Lamar wants Cliff Kingsbury. Is that true? We haven't brought him back for an interview. Like we brought Joe Brady back in for an interview, which tells me they might be leaning in that direction. But I don't know. There's still other guys that are getting tossed around that are not coordinators that don't have as much experience, like Davis Webb on the Broncos or Nate Shieldhaas on the Rams. Like these guys could get promoted to an OC and could potentially thrive, but it is risky because they don't have the experience. Cliff Kingsbury has the experience, but short term, short lived, I would say, like exciting experience, but also like fizzles out quick.
That's
So
that's second or third year when he's there and people get tape on him, they figure him out.
Yeah, but he hasn't had Lamar. Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't had a talent of that level too. So like I don't know. If Lamar wants Cliff, if that's like real and it is a big deal, then that's probably who it's gonna be. But I do think there's more pressure on that side of the ball. And I would prefer, just to round back to your question, I would prefer to have some experience at the OC position. I don't think our DC needs to have play calling experience if Minter's handling it. OC, I'd feel more comfortable because Minter doesn't have experience being a head coach. We don't want everybody not having experience. Like I want a little stability in one area. So I'd go offensive experience.
And for you, Hendo, innovation or experience is more important. For the let's start with offense.
Offense, you damn sure need experience. And you know, we found out, or there have been reports that Diana Rossini was out here Mike Pressoning, and it was a lie. That Lamar did not say he wanted Cliff Kingsbury. Like that's not really true. But I do want experience. I do want somebody to come in here that knows. And like you said, Shieldhaas is one of them. I think for some reason when you come from that Sean McVay tree, I just don't have no questions about you offensively. Somehow they all seem to go everywhere and just work out somehow. But defensively, I'm gonna have to disagree with y'all. I want somebody with experience because here's the thing. I want Denard Wilson. I told you this the other day. Denard Wilson, he took Tennessee to the number one defense in the league. This allows Minter, because he is a rookie head coach, to focus on coaching. Now we can get input, and you know that he can do something with a defense. Now you put your minds together and create something even better. But now this eases his mind to allow him to manage the team and not have to just focus on the defense with the inexperienced defensive coordinator. So you do this maybe year one, year two, focus on being a head coach for the first time. And then but still give your input. But after that, you do what you want to do. But I just think right now he needs to surround himself with experience. And this is what happened with the Ravens defense with Zach Orr. He didn't have experience around him. The linebacker coaches, all of those guys were like in their first and second years. And Anthony Weaver, Denard Wilson, those were really big losses. So he didn't have anybody to lean on. You bring in the two geriatric kids to help him out. They didn't know anything about today's NFL. So you just get guys around him that they can lean on. Zach Orr maybe one day will be a good defensive coordinator. But he didn't have the help. He didn't have the experience. So concentrate on what you need to concentrate on. Bring in a guy that you know can help you and that you trust. Because like you said, trust is the biggest factor. I ain't got to worry about the defense. I can focus on something else. You know what I'm saying? You got this. And if I see something wrong, I'll give you my input.
Got you. So your answer was experience, correct?
Experience.
Okay. So my who I want for OC is Shieldhaas.
Yes.
But I think he would be more of innovation because he's never called plays.
Well,
he called plays in college, but not on the pro level. And he does factor a lot into what McVay does. I do agree with you. Anybody from that tree, they probably going to have success.
Plug and play.
And I like the fact that he's a young guy and I like the fact that he hadn't called plays yet. That way, if we get him, we'll probably get him for at least 2 years before he blow up for real.
Right.
And you know, continuity with Lamar is key. You see how he got better every year with Todd. I think you get like a Shieldhaas, he'll get even better because he can take all that stuff that he got better with Todd. Then when Shieldhaas comes with these different concepts, they'll just expand what he can do. And I don't think Shieldhaas or anybody from that McVay tree will make his legs be priority one. His legs will be secondary. His legs will be just in case some stuff don't work. Now go do your thing. Now, every now and then we have some zone read and some stuff in there to, you know, in clutch situations, but his legs won't be priority one in the game plan. They'll be in case some stuff happens. But just doing more research on Shieldhouse, I love that cat, and he's my number one. Is that your number one, Hendo?
Yeah, and like they have to have a concept without legs first. Look who their quarterbacks were. They not calling plays for nobody that's mobile, so they know how to utilize it. But I was saying I want experience for defense, innovation for offense.
Oh, okay.
Because
okay, my bad.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need somebody like you said that can come in and advance, help Lamar advance. Todd Monken, your boy, he was cool, but he to me didn't have balls enough to tell John Harbaugh, "I'm not running this Ravens offense. I'm going to run what's successful." And he a lot of the heat fell on him for things that he did towing the line. So yeah, I'll take Shieldhouse and watch
right now.
Right, because we don't want people coming in the comments.
We want people coming back at me now. The first time I heard it, I couldn't say it because people got mad.
That dude. But yeah, it's just for us right now. It's just the possibilities of what can be. So right now, we all three of us can dream. Like we can like, oh, this guy. Oh my God, like this offense, defense, all of these things. It's just it makes things exciting, and it's just the fact that we ain't even hit the offseason yet.
Right. Offseason don't kick off till after Super Bowl.
Facts.
So I think we're in a good place content wise. We got a lot of what ifs is good for us right now. We can throw all these, do a little research and try, like I saw somebody just mention. I convinced them on Shieldhouse the other day. That's from me doing research, and I convinced myself. Really,
right?
I think he's the guy. But hopefully, that's what it is. So, last thing, predictions for next year. No, I don't want to ask that. Forget that. I got another one. First order of business outside of OCDC. What is his first order of business outside of finding an offensive DC? And I'll start with you on this one, Ryan.
The Ravens, or like you just talking about the Ravens organization?
Mentor and DaCosta together as decision.
Okay.
What is that first order of business?
Got to be the Lamar extension, right? You got to clear money. I think that needs to be done ASAP. Build the staff out first. Yeah. Like know who's there. But we're sitting at like 20 million, 23 million right now. If the cap goes up and that's carrying 10 million over, we can clear 30 plus million with a Lamar extension. He's got a $72 million cap hit right now. So like we can get his number down into the 40s. Now he'll make more on a yearly basis, but I'm just saying like we have to clear money or we're not signing. I mean, we maybe can bring back like Linderbaum, but like, what are we going to re-sign one of our own guys? And then we have nothing. Like, that's it. So I think it's priority to lock a few guys up too. We need to bring Linderbaum back. I think with that has to happen before March, but it'll be a lot easier to start doing those things if we have another 30 million at cap room and we're rolling in with 50 million. Now you can bring a lot of your own guys back that you want, because we got to sign some smaller guys too, like Stout. And not smaller in importance, but just like smaller deals. Jordan Stout and, likely still a decision. Kohler, you bring back at least one of those guys. Like there's a lot of different guys that are available, say our Darius Washington, Gilman, which one do you re-sign? Draymond Jones. Like there's so many free agents. So I think the Lamar extension unlocks that freedom. So I think that is super important. And I want him here. You know what I mean? So like that clears the air. He signs a 3-4 year extension. He's here for the next 5 years. We definitely got a new era, like locked in. We could quiet a lot of that BS noise that gets tossed around too. So yeah, I think Lamar extension, getting Linderbaum before he hits the open market, because if he hits the open market, that's when things like you were talking about earlier, where the Giants come by and just like are the highest bidder. But if you can avoid him even hitting the open market, like we did with Ronnie Stanley last year, a week before free agency, lock him up, we don't have to compete. And I don't think you should create another hole in the O-line. We already have 2 guard holes. You get rid of Linderbaum, it's like, man, we're like a complete rebuild on the O-line. So I think re-signing some of our guys in Lamar extensions priority after building the staff.
Hendo?
For me, it's finding the O-line. In my opinion, Lamar extension is a done deal. They've said several times throughout the year he's going to be the highest paid player in the NFL. So it's enough. And Lamar doesn't like to make waves. He wants to do what he needs to do to win. I just think that they have to figure out a way to protect Lamar. Like you said, we need to find 2 guards, but we also don't have a backup tackle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's so many things with this organization.
We don't have a proven backup there.
Vincent's on the rise, but yeah, not proven. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like everybody's saying, hey, Emory Jones, cool. But we don't know if he can. We did the same thing with Andrew Voorhees. Oh, we got Andrew Voorhees. We don't need to get anybody else. Let's see these guys prove themselves. But we do need some kind of depth on both sides. Because if Rosengarten goes down, if Stanley goes, like, we don't have an offensive line that is at the level of the quarterback that we have. So I think for me, I think priority number one is going to be protecting Lamar, because I think Jesse, his name is Jesse. Like, Coach, you keep Jesse. I think he saw what happened last season. Our season was derailed in the first 4 weeks watching Lamar get beat down. Like, Lamar got hit in his legs. So, you watch those games, Lamar got hit in his legs so many times. So many times. So his priority should be protecting his greatest asset. He's going to turn his defense around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anybody has any doubt about that. Our doubt is offensive coordinator. What are you going to do with Lamar? Getting him another weapon. Yes, we love Tez Walker, and I think Tez Walker is going to be an amazing player, but Lamar needs that dog. Lamar needs that I got to have it, like Josh Allen had with Stephon Diggs. When things go bad, I'm throwing it up and closing my eyes. I know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? I think he needs to focus on that, because defensively, we have the pieces. 2 seasons ago, we were number one in the NFL.
Yep.
We lost a couple of guys, but we also gained some guys, and now Mike Green, he has experience. You can see throughout the year that he realized, okay, this move ain't working. I need to do this. I need to get better at this. And then with the tutelage that he's going to get, defensively, we are going to be set. Your boy came in, he turned the Chargers around, got them up to the 9th ranked defense with aging and injured players. So with the guys and collection that we have, defensively, we good. Just protect my quarterback.
Agreed. Got 2 super chats before we get out of here. This one is from Tony Love. He says, hey, Coach, I have a pretty controversial question. Do you think black players play better under black coaches or white coaches? I think white coaches. I disagree. The two best players, 2 of the 3 best players I've ever coached were white kids. Jimbo's son and this kid that's at UVA now called Sage Ennis. They balled out for me. I mean, like Sage, I think Sage is still there. And Trey now is about to probably start his coaching career, and he'll speedball through the coaching ranks because of, not only because of who his pops is, but how much football that kid know. That kid knew some football. If not smarter than me, we were equal as far as how much football we knew. That kid knew it all. But when you look at all those times, when you feel Hendo, you seen it. You probably don't know him, but when Florida State was having their success, when you saw Jimbo, you saw Trey.
Yep.
And so he soaked in all that football knowledge. And if Trey had been 6'3" instead of 5'8",
right,
you'd be watching him right now, because he had it. And then Sage is a beast. We play receiver for me. Went down and played some tight end. Played tight end. He went to Clemson first. That didn't work out. Now he at UVA. So I don't think that has anything to do with it. It depends on respect. If they feel like you care for them and respect them and put them in the best place situation, I don't think black or white really matters. Now, when you get in the media and talk about all this other stuff, it matters, but not like football. No, I don't agree with that. Then the last one right here says, that's why I prefer a offensive head coach. If the new OC is great, he'll be gone in 2 years, and the offense will have to reset. A great DC can establish culture that's going to last throughout the organization through play. Now, I will say this, but to that one, Chris Desjokin made a statement last week or 2 weeks ago. He said he wanted whoever the coach was to have their own system, whether it be offensively or defensively. So even if you got an offensive coach, now you got the same thing on defense. Especially if you have success, you're gonna lose something. And that's why I say go Shieldhouse, younger, and you probably can at least get 2 years out of him, maybe even 3, because of he's never called plays, and somebody may want that to be the head coach first. So that's why I would go with him. Whereas you go with like a Brady come in and light it up, he probably gone the first year because he already getting head coaching, situations now.
Right. This is my thing, and this is no disrespect to anybody. We as Ravens fans have to stop wishing scared. Stop worrying about 2 years down the line, because guess what? We kept Greg Roman. How'd that work out? But more importantly, look at Ben Johnson. Just because somebody's a hot candidate and has coaching opportunities doesn't mean that they're actually going to leave. Ben Johnson could have left last year. He decided not to. You also have to factor in which coaching opportunities are available. It may not be the right situation for them. Everybody isn't going to just jump at the first head coaching job that they get. So we may have them. Some of those coaches are like, all right, I'm a hot name right now, but we so close to that Super Bowl. If I win a Super Bowl, I can pick my destination. So it's not always about, 2 years, Lamar is the MVP again. They're going to just pick me up and I'm going to want to go. Some guys don't want to leave their situation. So let's stop being scared about what might happen in 2 years. In 2 years, we might be back-to-back Super Bowl champions. Would you not trade that in for losing your offensive coordinator?
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Living it right now. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with both you guys are saying. I don't think it should factor into the hire that they may be like too qualified or that they're going to get plucked in a year. Like we're trying to win championships now. And to what you said, Coach, it's going to be a hole on one side or the other. Like we lost Mike McDonald and went way backwards too on the defense. So like, you get a hot coordinator that gets a head coaching job. Like there's a hole somewhere. We just suffered the last 2 years on defense because of the same hole. So like, sure. Yeah. We do need to hit the OC hire out of the park, but the fact that we hired a defensive head coach, like it's, there was going to be a hole on one side or the other regardless. So it's fine. It's just, we got to plug it and get the best guy in there. And if he balls out, like Hendo said, we win a Super Bowl, we're not going to be that pissed that we lost our OC. You got another couple years of breathing room there. Like, let's get another one.
And the thing is, think about this before we go. If you go on a Super Bowl run, you see how hard it is to interview Shearhouse and Shula and Seattle's OC, Kubiak. So you may not necessarily lose them because
teams panic.
Yeah, because you got to go early because you can't even talk to these guys.
Yeah, right.
And then if you sit there and wait, and they don't want to come to they don't want to take your job. Now you got to get Joe Blow that's been sitting at the crib. You might have to go get who Jose always compare Harbaugh to. You might have to go get McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. Same resume.
With that being said, man, I appreciate you guys for this discussion. Great discussion. We could have went on and on, with different topics and whatnot, but I appreciate you guys for taking part of your Saturday morning, especially you, Hendo, because I know you've been up all night. Before we get out of here, let the people know where they can find your content and what you got going on. And the links to both channels are in the description.
You start with me. I'm sorry. This Road Pod, everything, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, all that stuff.
The sleep came back.
Right.
Passion left and the sleep just came back.
Right. I'm so tired.
And Ryan, yourself, let the people know, we live on yours, but you still do it for the people that's on my side.
Yeah. The Flock Rundown everywhere. X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. Yeah.
All that good stuff. And again, you noticed, like I said, I put that tweet out about it. So much content out there. And I love the fact that we can come together, have conversations, and just, even if we got different opinions about stuff, have civil conversation about it and chop it up. And you may say something that swayed me or vice versa, or somebody in the chat may hear something they didn't think about. It's all about collaboration and seeing all different sides and putting more eyes and stuff, and then formulate your own opinion. So
what's the point of getting mad? What's the point of getting mad about somebody else's opinion?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. And if you're open-minded, then like you said, Coach, like everyone gets better. Like everyone grows, becomes more knowledgeable. You might be like, I didn't think about that. That's a cool angle. Right. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, and with that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Enjoy y'all Saturday. Championship Sunday going on. I got New England and the Rams. Real quick, Hendo, who you got?
I got New England and the Seahawks.
Okay. Ryan?
Yeah, New England and Seattle.
Okay. Well, we'll see. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming out to be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. Enjoy your Saturday. Peace, y'all.
Enjoy.